Let's go.
Hey everybody! Welcome back to OtakuCast. I'm your host, Angel's Calamity. Glad to have you. This is my co-host, Directionally Challenged.
Hey, I'm Directionally Challenged. I have morning voice. Ignore me.
Even though it's nowhere near morning, not judging. Hashtag not judging.
It's morning
And-
somewhere.
And our special guest, the almighty Lord and Master, Yojack.
Yojack. Follow me.
You got nothing?
What?
I'm sorry.
You are with us you know how we do. You're always on the spot on this cast. We immediately
You really
hit you with
should.
it.
While Yojack recollects his thoughts, look at my Cowboy Bebop and, as DC says, Scott Pilgrim shirt.
Robotech.
The ritual
Robotech.
of the showing off the shirts.
Yes,
we
have to do it every week. It's the ritual to show off the nerd.
Oh, we also introduced our guest. Technical difficulties. I almost said technically.
Yes, we've already introduced technical difficulties. Just in case. Very important that we introduce that guest because otherwise, God, they get so uppity.
Yeah, I know. We got to show respect to the technical difficulties. Respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-C.
But if y'all want to check out my YouTube channel and my social medias, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and on youtube.com/angelscalamity. I do Let's Plays of stupid stuff. I have a good time, though. Check me out.
And... And hello, I'm Directionally Challenged. You can find me on YouTube as Directionally Challenged. I am a man who does stupid internet videos. Thank you.
You still have not risen to my challenge video, by the way. I don't know if you tried to do the coffee one.
Send me the link again. I literally have been too busy with other stuff and technical difficulties.
All right, Yojack, you got some social media to plug there?
Yeah, I've been there.
Hell yeah. But anyway, why Yojack is joining us today is it's a special cast. We are on the last episode of season 0.
The last one.
The very last one. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We got some stuff to talk about today. You wanna take us off with our news, DC?
Unpopular opinions, by the way, will be our subject today, but the news we're discussing. I have to get my links. Angels, fill the gap. I have to get the links.
Fill the gaps. Okay, the first one we're going to talk about is Free Comic Book Day. Diamond Comic Distributors usually have a Free Comic Book Day, which was delayed because of the thing that shall not be named, Voldemort. And they announced it. It was supposed to be at the end of May, but they announced that they're doing a Free Comic Book Summer instead, July 15th through September 9th. They're keeping in mind of social distancing and capacity regulations, and they're offering a selection of 47 titles for free at a participating comic book shop worldwide. And Anime News Network reported that one, so give it a Google and see if you got any local comic shops that are participating in that, because that is pretty awesome.
Sadly, there's no freaking comic book shops near me. They're all an hour and a half away.
Did you say sadfully?
Yes, sadly, there's no comic shops near me. You think I love comic books, I love manga, I love anime, I like to be able to go pick it up at a convenient place. But no, it's inconvenient because they're an hour and a half away.
But did you say sadfully?
Yes, sadfully.
Okay.
Well, would I be happy that there's no comic shops near me? No.
I'm just more concerned about your verbiage.
Why?
Sadly. Is that even a word? Sadly is not a word.
Yes, it is.
Remorsefully, with sadness.
Yeah,
sadly is not a word.
It is a word. No. Yes, it is.
Sadfully.
So in other news... Yes, it is.
Anyway,
in other news,
sadfully is a word or not, okay?
Sadfully is a word.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, Studio Ghibli. DC, can you tell us about this one?
Yes, Studio Ghibli is going to be releasing a 3D animated movie, which, one, kind of really looks like Akira Toriyama's art style. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it has a very, like, Dragon Quest look to it.
And
Um,
this would be like the first CGI movie that they've done. And Studio Ghibli and NAK, not sure,
NH,
is that another
NHK,
studio? NHK, excuse me, my
NHK.
own handwriting again. They posted first visuals from their first CG feature film called Earwig and the Witch. And it's actually the adaptation of Diana Wayne Jones' novel. So, like, we had some pictures pictures? We have pictures? That show off that art style. It's okay if we don't have them. You guys can give it a Google. It's called Earwig and the Witch, and I honestly think it looks good. I'm willing to give it a go. Like I know we're all used to Ghibli being hand drawn or mostly hand drawn, but I'm willing to give it a go.
I don't know. I'm looking at it, and all I can see is Dragon Quest. It's so odd. It doesn't look. I don't know. I just don't think the Ghibli style is like translates to 3D, but it doesn't look bad. It's just I mean,
Well, you're not
it's weird.
you do lose a certain amount of charm when you go to the
It's the
CGI.
charm, yeah. It's the charm of the Ghibli films. By the way, NHK
But
stands for Nippon Hoso Kyokai, or Japan Broadcasting Corporation.
there you go. And that's actually going to premiere this winter on that broadcasting station's channel. It's going to be 82 minutes long. So, I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to give
It's
it a
actually
go.
fairly short.
And I really think if they, because I believe um the why can I not remember his name? Dude and Dude's son. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Dude and
Goro
Dude.
Miyazaki, the son of Hayao
Thank
Miyazaki.
you. Thank you. Well, he's running it, but Hayao Miyazaki did look it over and give it a good thumbs up. So, I mean, I'm down. Let the
Hayao
son prove
Miyazaki,
himself.
or the man who inspired everyone's childhood.
Exactly. Exactly. Final in our news today, we have The Verge reports that a new Pokemon Snap game is coming out for the Nintendo Switch.
Dude,
I
Pokemon Snap.
Yes, and I was one of the ones that played the original on the 64, and
Me
I
too.
loved it.
You
I
know, okay,
ate it up.
it's okay. It's so weird to like be like, God, Pokemon Snap, man. I love that game because the whole game was just you're on a rail taking pictures, but it was so good.
Well,
It's, yeah,
you got to interact with the environment a little bit because you had to throw Pokeballs or Pokemon bait to get either Pokemon to come out or pose specific ways so you could
yeah.
take pictures of them. And then remember everyone was all like, "You have to find the Mew and find the Mewtwo," and there was like there was still a lot to it. Like
Did you ever get that picture of like the Moltres that like was like coming out of the volcano?
yes, I did get that picture. That was the
You
best.
gotta
And
be ready for those ones.
you have to throw the Pokeball into the volcano, if I remember correctly, to get that
Yeah, you throw
shot
like a rock or something in there.
to get them to come out. Yes, and it's a new adventure inspired by the N64 game. No, with no release date yet, but you will explore brand new islands to fill out your photo decks. I know how to work.
Angels, just accept it. We know you don't know how to word.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
At least I don't use sadfully. Okay, at least I don't use the word sadfully in a sentence. Other adults.
And
GIF
One Piece
communication,
references.
GIF. I pronounce it GIF.
Yeah,
Sorry,
GIF.
GIF. GIF
Yeah, GIF.
communication is a valid form of communication.
Yeah, GIF.
It's we're not gonna get into this. We got plenty of things to
Unpopular
argue
opinion.
about.
Unpopular, not
Exactly.
anime opinion. It's GIF.
That it's GIF, like the peanut butter. Hello, peanut butter.
No.
This is not even Jif peanut butter. It's just creamy.
Jiffy.
Creamy.
Jiffy Pop.
Hey, nice peanut butter.
Hey.
Anyway,
Are we only gonna talk in memes now?
KJace130 says in chat, isn't it just, but when you
Yeah, it's
write
GIF.
it, GIF,
Yeah.
GIF,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, it's
gonna
GIF.
read it. Is it GIF like peanut butter or gift like a gift? You have to specify
Yeah,
how you
it's yeah.
enunciate.
GIF was with a G.
Chase, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, unpopular anime opinions is our topic today. So we're just gearing ourselves up to argue. Let's, you know what, guys? Roast us in chat. Keep it PG though, family friendly, but roast us in chat. You guys can disagree with us. It's okay. I'll only cry for a little bit after. Okay? I'm sorry. This is a hard time for me. All right. All right. So, DC, do you want to take us off with the first one? Yojack, or shall I?
I'm gonna let Yojack do it because, as I've stated, I don't have that many unpopular opinions.
Why is my cup wet?
Look,
Who wet my cup?
It really is. It's yeah, no, that is
Yeah?
a yeah. I'm sorry, it
Actually,
is okay. The thing is that like
wait,
so many people though are like, no, you can't like it because it sucks. Or the sort of counter to that is like, it's also okay not to like popular anime. It's okay.
chat says that we cannot hear Jack.
That's proper social distancing. He's wearing a mask. That's why. Oh, you failed us. Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties.
See, this is why Angels. This is why we welcome technical difficulties as a guest.
KJ's 130, can you hear DC and I? Are we coming through clear?
Yeah, I think that we're coming in there. KJ,
Okay.
we always have to welcome technical difficulties as our special guest.
You know what? I think I'll go on with one.
We fixed it.
Can
I
you
should
hear
be
our
coming through now.
message?
Yes. Okay, I'm coming in pretty hot. So let me bring this down. Okay. No one has heard anything I've said so far, but that's okay. All I did was introduce myself. I am Yojack87. You can find me on Twitter, Yojack87 too, because someone happened to take Yojack87, or I may have forgotten that I am having a Twitter account, but that's okay.
It's all okay. It's all good. So we can hear you now.
Other than that, yes.
Jason,
Yay!
we did it. Fix it. Wow, hijack.
My AC is coming in really hot, so I am going to turn that down.
I just have a fan on me because it's like 90.
Fane. It's my biggest fan! Yay!
Let me try and turn this down a bit.
We're adults here.
Okay.
Unpopular anime opinions. We are not adults. No.
Thank you, chat.
Sorry.
It's been a long day.
Thanks for being patient with us, guys. We are back. We are good, I think.
So,
thank you, technical difficulties, for appearing again. We're happy to have you here. You can calm down now.
So
we appeased. So knock on wood that we're gonna be good for the rest of cast. Let's go.
Okay.
So you were saying with your
the most unpopular
anime
opinions. We're gonna go with it's okay to like bad anime. There's a lot of bad anime that like Sword Art Online, Makenki, or just ecchi shows in general like Keijo.
Sword Art Online is bad? Wait.
Have you been online?
There's a lot of people that don't like SAO. There's a lot.
You know why I'm gonna say that it's not bad? You know why I'm gonna have to argue on that one simple fact? There's like 37 games for it. America might not like it, but
there's a difference between bad and popular. Something can be popular without being good. Because it's subjective.
I mean,
popularity,
let's be honest, that's very subjective, yeah.
Popularity is a spectrum, but it's more objective than good or bad. Because good or bad is in the eye of the beholder, but on a popularity scale, you can just say, oh, well, hundreds of thousands of people have said and know about it. Whereas...
Can it really be bad if it's popular, though?
No, I mean,
yes. It's kind of a weird.
Well, then you have to define bad.
Yeah,
what is bad? What is a bad anime?
Well known can be bad, but popular and bad don't usually go together.
Yeah.
Well,
have you seen?
well, you know,
some.
It's a.
I'm talking like
Sorry.
Specifically anime.
Anime.
I keep.
There's a lot of
interrupting
popular
Yojack,
bad
I
anime.
do.
I already got this on the list, but we might as well skip to it now. Fairy Tail. I am not a fan of Fairy Tail, but I am watching it.
I like Fairy Tail.
It is.
But Fairy Tail's good.
It is.
It is.
It is a rough.
Team up on Yojack.
Let's
but
go.
see, Fairy Tail's good.
I am 37 episodes in, so hit me with anything in that 37 range. No spoilers in the chat.
There's not a lot. The power of friendship is totally a thing, and even though that's a trope we did talk about like episodes ago, it's done decently in Fairy Tail. And I might be biased because Fairy Tail has certain themes that I enjoy, but I enjoy it. I like Natsu. He's one of your typical main characters that is a
does fall
goofball
under
and
the
an
typical
idiot.
main shonen character, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so far, I haven't seen anything from Fairy Tail that hasn't been done in a different anime, but better. It's like eating bland food.
I would say that if you're thinking a little bit like that, when I watch an anime or I watch a manga, I sort of just allow myself to just be in that anime or that manga, and I don't use like other things to affect my view of it. But that's like the same with movies. I prefer to just judge something based off of what it is and not like how the genre affects it. Like, otherwise I'd be looking at Naruto and I'd have a lot to say about Naruto.
I see what you're saying, but I think my counter argument to that would be that it's human nature to compare and contrast. There are things in this world like Death Battle, Civil War. I mean, who's better, Iron Man or Captain America? I mean, there's a lot of children that would do that. Just comparing things and which is better is always going to be a inherently human nature thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Fairy Tail's bad, because
I think in comparison, yeah.
Opinions. Well, not even in comparison, because in my own comparisons, Angels.
We lost Angels.
In my own comparisons, I think Fairy Tail's rather well done. I enjoy it. I enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed watching it. But that's the thing, is that inherently we are going to have different tastes, and we're going to look at things and be like,
yeah, Chase,
I prefer this, and I do not like this, and so we end up with differing opinions. In this instance, I wouldn't say saying Fairy Tail's bad is rather like it would be unpopular, just because I think most people do really enjoy the show.
It's very popular. I have a lot of issues with it.
It's very fun. The action is well done. I think the anime, in my opinion, this would be an unpopular opinion, I think the anime lets the manga down.
Angels is having a hard time, but
you
and me can go at it. So, I haven't made a list, so I'm just gonna run off. So I've been watching Fairy Tail daily for the past, 5 weeks. And, I try to get one episode in a day. Angels, now you're on the bottom. You're messing with the thing. I'm not DC.
No, you're the co-host now.
Yeah. Happy is the most annoying mascot I've ever heard of. His voice actor is I'm not a fan of. Lucy is constantly being sexualized, and that's very annoying. I would understand sometimes, but it's like every other episode, someone in the show is sexualizing her. The storylines are very cliche, and I've watched 2 arcs now, and the second arc I've seen is basically the first arc, but copy and pasted for the other character. So Gray's arc is basically Urza's arc, just with different characters.
That's kind of how most anime is. No, you're still not really back.
No, you're not really back. But let me just keep going. Natsu doesn't have any depth as of now. I'm not gonna stay on that one because I feel like that's something you can pass over. You can give him depth as the show goes on. You don't need to like Luffy,
Yeah, he gets a lot of depth. Yeah, Luffy is a character that gets
have
a lot of depth as the show goes on.
as the show goes on, I expect that Natsu will, as the show progresses, get better.
Yeah. Natsu, in all honesty, think of Natsu like Goku, and then that's how you just look at that. That's really how you should look at it. Natsu's very much a Goku-like character. If you don't care for Fairy Tail, though, I'll be honest, you should try Rave. That was Heroes. You never heard of Rave?
Rave?
Yeah, Rave.
What is
Rave
that?
Rave was Hiro Mishima's first manga. I think his first. It came before Fairy Tail. Like before he did Fairy Tail, he did Rave and Rave Master, whatever you want to call it. But it Rave in the mangas. If you want to get a story like Fairy Tail, but done with like characters that have a bit more depth and a bit more seriousness to them, check it out.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It was actually my Discord that crashed on me. It wasn't even my internet this time.
Very weird. But
I don't know.
Alright, let's move on to another
Hi guys, sorry
hot
for that.
take so that we don't stay on
I'll
one.
go next.
Yeah.
I'll go next. We good? Good. Alright. Dubs versus subs. I'm a dub watcher. If there's a dub of an anime, I will watch it. If it's a bad dub, I'll watch it anyway.
Yeah, but you've already stated your reasoning for that.
She's already stated her reasoning in a past episode.
Okay.
DC counter
Even if I'm gonna watch an anime by myself, without my children or anyone else around, I will watch a dub.
You know, I have a counter argument for why sub is better.
Please.
I also have a counter argument, but I want to let DC go ahead first.
For one, I honestly think sub is better because, like I said, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. Dub is better sometimes. But in general, I prefer sub because it's a bit more accurate. Because as we've noticed throughout the podcast, dub versus sub, we have seen things changed in the dub that are not in the sub.
All according to my Kekaku.
Yeah, or words that are changed. So context changes from dub to sub, which is important. You lose important context. You also lose important jokes because there's a lot of jokes that only work in Japanese.
Yeah.
Only.
I'll wait. I'll let you guys give your dissension, and I'll pose
an example.
argument.
My favorite anime movie of all time is Kimi no Na wa, and there's a joke in that movie where anyone who's seen it knows that the characters switch, and when the girl's in the guy's body, he says a female pronoun, as in female me. But then his buddies are like, whoa, what did you just say? And then she's going through all of the different pronouns that guys use until she gets to the right one. And then the buddies are like, oh, yeah. It's very funny in a Japanese sense. And I haven't seen the dub for Kimi no Na wa. Actually, I'm lying. I have seen it. I don't remember. But I don't think that joke translates very well into English.
It can't really translate well because, like, Japan has so many different ways to kind of say, basically, like, express males talk in a certain way, females talk in a certain way, whereas in America or in English, you don't really use gendered language for yourself. Like, if I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the store, there's nothing to really denote my gender in that. But, like, in Japan, you have so many different ways that could be said.
So
yeah, you're not wrong.
One of my favorite things about watching sub is the Japanese voice actors given English lines.
Oh god, yeah.
JoJo's is hilarious because of some of the lines you get there.
God.
You don't get those types of things.
Bleach.
All Might.
Don Kanoji. The spirits are always with you. Yeah, no, it's I love
my favorites is Steins Gate. I am mad scientist. Isuku, son of a bitch. So you don't. So my point is, those types of lines
naughty word
are just comedy. They're the comedy that are meant to be comedy, and it's just a normal line in English.
I also I have to admit this. I do like to bring onto that just a little bit. I do like it when random characters use English, just like randomly in a sentence where they're just like, okay, or they're like, suck it, and you're just like, I don't know why that came out in you, why you had to do that in English, but it's funny. I like that.
Angels.
I will give you guys that, but as a counter argument, those regional a lot of Americans are not gonna in the dub are translated to half the time. Sometimes they're just skipped over entirely, or they do it anyway and put a little note on the screen. But in the dubs, they will translate into something that people can understand.
Localization.
Localization, and you get some kind of jokes that way.
There's an unpopular opinion for me.
What's that?
That is one of my unpopular opinions.
Localization?
Yeah.
Okay, like how they took the Pokemon, it's a donut, and it was really a rice ball, which is called a
onigiri. It's an onigiri.
Thank you.
Me and DC know, because he's directionally challenged, the green swordsman.
What you mean onigiri? You mean Demon Slash? We're talking Demon Slash, right? Yeah.
What?
Demon Slash. Onigiri. Demon Slash.
One Piece reference. We gotta get the One Piece reference
also means
in somewhere.
Yeah. It means rice ball
JoJo's
and
reference,
Demon Slash.
One Piece reference, anything else? We good?
Every single one of Zoro's attacks is a pun.
And it lets me focus on the visuals of an anime. Because if I read and process words really fast, but I like focus and I get laser focused on the words and I'll pay less attention to the visuals and I have missed things.
Problem.
Yeah, it is my problem. And this is, it's my opinion!
It's her opinion and she needs it now.
It sounds like a problem.
But that's why I'm saying I prefer, it's my opinion, unpopular opinion.
All right.
And that way I can get an overall experience of the full anime.
You know how I counter that? I just watched the anime again.
Let me just bring you into my other one. So, rewatching anime is usually a waste of time.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight you on that one.
Alright, let's go with this. I believe that there's so much media to consume that rewatching anime is a waste of time in the sense that you could be watching something new. I also have other things I can talk about there.
Here's the
I'm
thing,
gonna let DC take the floor.
Why do we watch movies? Why do we read books? It's imbibing media that entertains you. Why do we rewatch movies and media and reread books? I'm a book rereader myself. It's because we enjoy it. Fight me?
That's the thing, right?
Rewatching is fine.
Rewatching is fine. I mean, you can say it's a waste of time because there's so much more stuff to read or watch or see out there. But in all honesty, if there's something you enjoy and you want to watch it again, that's perfectly fine. The reason why I'll state that I don't think rewatching anime is a waste of time is because for me, I like to look for details in things that I might have missed before. Like, by the time you get done with an anime, example, just anime we may have watched, rewatching it gives you new context to everything that happens. And that's what I think the value is that by the time you're done with something, unless you've watched it all in one sitting, most of the time you're going to forget most of what happened. You're going to remember the big moments, but like those little interactions between characters, you're going to forget about. Like, I'm a manga rereader. As I've stated, I reread mangas a lot. I've read Bleach 10 times, all the way through after its completion. 10 times I've reread Bleach. Is that a waste of time? It takes me like a week to get through it. So it's not really that much of a waste of time, and I still consume new media. Like, I haven't given up watching new animes or reading new mangas. I still do it.
That.
But new context and picking up these little details that you didn't notice the first time, that's what I think the value of rewatching is to see those little details that you missed.
I agree completely with you, DC. And Chase, I want to speak to your manager. Anyway.
Chase is calling Angel.
He called me a Karen and
Karen of
anime. I want to speak to your manager. I already said we're not friends once, okay?
I gotta tag in here. So, DC, I see what you're saying. I respect that point. I'm just saying that I've got Persona 5 sitting over there, and Last of Us 2 just came out. I know those aren't anime, but it's an example of media. and I'm also behind on all my seasonal anime. So to me, rewatching something when I have all that to do is just not even fathomable.
Hey man, time management.
I'm also a video game player. If you have a world that you enjoy and something that brings you some emotional feeling that you want to experience, it is even if it's just wonder that you just want to go back and have a veg out session and have your favorite anime playing in the background or replaying your favorite game or whatever in this sense, it's completely okay.
That's why I have over 200 hours in Persona 5.
Your time, your effort, your energy. I mean, obviously, if there's more things that you prioritize, like, obviously, I can't go rewatch Inuyasha right now because I have Otaku stuff.
What do you mean
rewatch?
Like you haven't finished.
Well, I've
rewatching.
Seen most of it.
Unpopular opinion. It's not rewatching if you haven't finished it. There you go.
I have to start from the beginning, because I've seen most of it. I don't remember what episode I left off on, and I don't remember. I have CRS syndrome. Can't remember stuff. And I have a hard time remembering things,
Stuff.
Great.
It's stuff.
Hey, I'm being hasty.
So I want to leave off on I want to leave off on that topic of I don't think rewatching is completely a waste of time. I just think most of it is. For example, I rewatch Your Name. I've seen it 12 times, no lie. It's honestly, and I agree that I could have been doing other things. But I think there are some media, like you said, like I enjoyed it. I think some media can take you to a place that means a lot to you. And that's why you rewatch it.
Exactly. And I actually recently just rewatched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I haven't seen that movie.
Charlie Factory?
Yeah, Willy Wonka and the Charlie Factory.
Not Charlie's.
Yeah, well, the way that movie goes. But that's something that I rewatched. I haven't said mine yet.
Say yours.
This is gonna hurt a lot of people and make everyone very mad.
Let's go.
Deku is not a very good character.
Preach, brother.
Get out.
Yeah, I told you.
Out.
I run this show now.
I'm sorry. That's
Deku.
So
did you guys hear that thump?
Yeah. Before I jump in here, DC, make your case, and then I want to see the counter case from Angels.
All right, here's
this will be funny.
I'm gonna very much try and avoid any form of spoilers because I'm a manga reader.
Yeah.
I've said this many times. I know what happens. I know where the story goes. Reason I'm saying Deku is not a very good character is the character himself, his traits, and everything that are set up are ignored throughout the series. His traits that are set up, very methodical, very intelligent, capable of like analyzation at an extreme degree. He sits there and writes out books of information on other people's quirks. He himself, though,
wins fights by punching harder.
Never really uses it in combat. Like you've set this character up to be an analytical, like design, like thinky. He doesn't really use it in combat. This is actually very true. And the other thing is that he doesn't really grow comparatively. If you compare Deku to Todoroki or Bakugo, he doesn't grow.
Bakugo's my favorite character. Just want to put that out there.
Oh no, that's what's wrong with you.
Let's go.
But
all right.
I'm sorry, he really doesn't grow.
Okay.
I would like you to counter the he doesn't grow part.
Ooh,
if you're gonna counter.
I'm in for
all right. I would like to first off say that these other children in class have had their quirks their entire lives. Okay? Deku has it for a handful of months. He hasn't even finished a whole year with this quirk that his body is unprepared for, and it breaks him every time he uses it at the beginning. And we do see growth. We do see growth because at the start, the first time he ever used that quirk, the all for one, I confused them. Don't judge me.
One for all. One for all. It's one for all.
Okay. Thank you.
He has one.
But the first time he ever used it, he launched himself like 10 stories in the air, broke the robot every bone other than his one arm, and his spine was shattered from the impact.
Spine?
And I think His legs were jello. It could have been his spine. I don't know. He was messed up.
I'll agree that moment was pretty hype.
But we see him grow. Where I'm at in the anime, which is the new season, but I'm a little bit behind. But like 10, 15 episodes behind. But anyway, we do see his growth. He can use his quirk, egg in a microwave, and he does learn how to manage it and use it. And I see you talking about mental growth. He is a soft boy. He has emotions. Don't hate him for being who he is. Okay?
Well, that is a detriment to his character at times.
Yes, but it's still him. They don't change his like.
It's a detriment to the character, though.
Okay, he was like that because of the abuse he suffered and the disappointment he suffered his entire life of being quirkless when the only thing he ever wanted to be was a hero.
And
so that is how he is. That is his personality.
Here's the thing, though. He hasn't.
You know, I didn't interrupt you.
It. I know. I'm just saying he's not growing past that.
Let me slide in real quick.
That's how he is. He is a crybaby. Like, I even think he cries too much, but it's just Deku. That is Deku. That's the reason why his name. It doesn't make him a bad character. It just makes him a character. He's just like, I think he's a good character, but that's my opinion.
As I said that, I think that's detrimental to him. That's all I said.
But anyway, and then he does, like, at least where I'm at, he does use his analytical skills and his analytical reasoning and thinking in battles, and he uses it whenever he meets a new hero. You get like a little, he goes, oh, that's so and so that has so and so quirk and so and so and so and so, and he does use his fanboy stuff.
He doesn't like
I love
Yojack. Go on.
I need to tag in here real quick because we've been talking about Deku, but his rival, my boy Bakugo, has essentially they're rivals because like they start from opposite directions. Bakugo's always been at the top while Deku's always been at the bottom, and Deku's going up.
And it's a great dynamic.
It's a very good dynamic because you get to see how both characters change and evolve over time, and how Bakugo was at the top of his food chain in his middle school, but then when he went to high school, everyone else was on his level or above him. When he saw Todoroki, he was shattered because his whole perception was that he was the best and he was going to be even better. So what I love about him is that, I forgot what season it was, but he confronts Deku about All Might, and he's just like, you can see how just shattered he is, and he needs to, because he knows that, you know, Deku was the one chosen.
Yeah.
Now, I don't hate Bakugo. I hate how much of a jerk he is, but I enjoy his character. Does that make any sense? I have a love-hate relationship with Bakugo.
If you were in universe, you wouldn't like him.
Exactly. Bakugo he's Bakugo. He's a well-written character. And I can understand, like, I still want more exposition on backstory and stuff like that, but I can understand why Bakugo does Bakugo things, especially, like, as you said, the dynamics between him.
This isn't about Bakugo. This is about why Deku is.
I know, but I was agreeing with it, and I was bringing it back to Deku.
Yeah, she's bringing it back. She's trying to,
circle around.
She's trying to circle around.
Can I talk now, DC Daddy?
No.
Anyway. But that rivalry between Bakugo and Deku is one of the main things of the show. It's like Deku was the worthless and nothing, the peon, and then he becomes more, and he has a potential to become the greatest. And then Bakugo's like, no, that's not fair. I have always been the greatest. You can't just all of a sudden become out of nothing.
It's hard to. It really is hard to.
And actually to see what Deku becomes in the future, because I said,
Angels, you're gonna need to earmuffs when I do this.
Like a couple months.
Angels, you're gonna need to earmuffs when I do this.
What do you?
I haven't read the manga either.
I'm not gonna spoil. I'm gonna do this as best I can without spoiling anything. But one of the like you don't need to earmuffs if you don't want to. It's really not. It's not spoilers because I'm not going to detail anything. But one of the major problems is that if you're a manga reader like I am,
like Atomic Misty is in chat,
it's going to happen. It's going to happen to you guys in the animes. Deku goes from here, and he gets thrown away, and Todoroki gets put in the spotlight, pretty much. And he's been in the spotlight
for a
very long time.
He is good boy.
But the problem is that Deku needs a lot of development as a character.
He needs therapy, really.
No, he needs development. Think about this. He's the main character with a power that he is not used to. He needs the most development of anyone because he has to get used to the power. Like you said, he's not used to it. One, as someone from an analytical standpoint, I like analyzing things. I like analyzing manga. I like overthinking things. Deku's character is hampered by his own obsession, and that does kind of get resolved-ish, but Deku still doesn't really grow. He doesn't really grow.
Before we get off this topic,
mentally evolve.
I do want to slide in here that I think Medio would have been a better protagonist than Deku. Alright. Just check.
There's...
Who would be a better protagonist? You broke up.
How do you describe him? Medio. He's power.
Oh yeah, Mammalian.
The guy with the hair and the face, and he goes power.
Yeah, Mammalian. That's his hero name.
Yeah, no, he would have been a much better main character.
I don't agree. I like my Deku, and coming in as a boy without quirks to an introduction to a world like that, it gives you something to associate. Like, hey, I don't have any superpowers.
It's so hard not to spoil.
But yeah. So I mean, we could sit here and beat this to death. I like Deku. You guys don't. It's fine.
Let's move on.
I have another one that might incite some hatred. Get your fingers ready in chat, guys. Ready? I watch filler. I watch it once, but I watch filler. I don't skip it. The first time I'm watching something, I watch it.
I don't really
No?
have a strong
Nothing?
feeling for that. No, I don't have strong opinions on it.
I really thought.
I mean, my opinion is I think that filler is largely a waste of time, but at the same time, I don't care enough. I sat through filler hell in Naruto, and it broke me.
I've watched
watched
all the fillers in Naruto so far.
They're horrible.
So, regarding filler, I think that's an interesting point that you bring up because I feel like it can be a double-edged sword, and normally it's not used very well. Like in Bleach, when I was watching through Bleach, they just completely stopped an arc, did a whole other arc, and then came back to the arc. I understand why they did that.
Watching Bleach.
So I understand why they did that from a production standpoint, but from an audience standpoint, that's the most ridiculous thing to ever do. From a Naruto standpoint, they take a different route to where they just constantly doing flashbacks and having them go on adventures that mean nothing in the overall story.
Yeah.
But from a One Piece standpoint, there's not enough filler because I feel like in between arcs is the time for them to really push a different filler arc to where they don't have to stretch episodes out. Here's one manga chapter, let's stretch it into 20 minutes. That's their filler.
I will also admit, One Piece filler doesn't feel like filler a lot of the time.
The GA art was amazing, and it felt like canon because they did it right.
Yeah, well, because the people who are doing One Piece, they know One Piece. They know One Piece.
In this sense, I'm mainly talking about Naruto because that's one of the shows with the most filler, and it's one I'm most experienced with. There are a couple episodes that are absolutely insufferable. Mecha Naruto, the Attack of the Shadow Clones, but the rest of them they're okay. They're all right.
Infinite Tsukiyomi? What? Infinite Tsukiyomi?
Rasengan Ramen?
I enjoyed the ramen one. Fight
Look,
it was It was
so
better than
stupid.
Mecha Naruto.
But when Naruto and Sasuke kissed for the second time, I was all Naruto Sasuke. That's the only ship I ship.
Sasuke is not a very good character either, though.
I agree with you there.
That
he
one
could have been written better. He could have been written better.
Yeah,
that one
yeah.
legitimately the Yakuza will come for you on that one.
I agree. Sasuke is not great.
The reason Sasuke's not dead is because he got death threats.
So.
Well, because people like their characters that are
they
just.
Want their boy.
Yakuza love
I'm
their
trying
anime.
to figure out a way to say it that's not insulting. But yeah, bad character.
So while we're on the shonen topic, I do want to bring up another unpopular opinion that the length of an anime doesn't matter. And when I say doesn't matter, what I'm referring to is it shouldn't matter whether or not you get into a show. And
yeah, I agree.
If you see a show and it's got 10 episodes, or if it's got 1,000 episodes, it shouldn't matter because you're only going to watch as much as you decide to watch. You can't...
Okay, go ahead.
So, the reason I bring this up is because I feel like I have been putting off Fairy Tail for a while because of its length. It's like 100 and something. But then I realized it's not such a big commitment if you take it at your pace.
Exactly.
If you decide to watch how much you decide to watch, it doesn't need to be this show has this many episodes, so I now have to watch all of that as soon as possible. You can watch 10 episodes of this, go watch something else, and then come back to that like 2 weeks later. It doesn't need to be a huge commitment right out the gate.
I actually have something to add to that, because I do agree with you, but I have legitimately seen people be like, I can't get into One Piece, it's 900 episodes. And I'm not joking when I say this, those same people have also rewatched The Office 10 times.
Angels, you'll have your counter-argument here when DC's over.
But that's just my.
No,
that's just
fine.
what I'm
I was
adding
just
to that
saying
is,
that I'm one of those people. I was saying, raising my hand. That's me.
Have you ever rewatched a long-form TV sitcom multiple times?
Nope.
Okay, good. So at least it's not like I can't watch 900 episodes of One Piece.
The Office once.
But I've watched 8 seasons of The Office 10 times. Like, it's the same thing. It's the same amount. It's just you can watch it at your own pace.
I agree with you there. If you have the time to watch that, then you got the time to dig into that. I agree with that one. I'll give you that.
My argument is that you have the time for anything you want. In all honesty, it's all about time management. You said a lot of people suck at
anime.
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people suck at time management. That's my unpopular opinion about people.
Also, I did want to throw in here that the length of an anime can be a good thing. I have a friend that wants to watch One Piece because it's so long. Because they hate short anime. When they have to be like, oh, I
can't help you this thing. I'm sorry.
It's because it's so short, you're not with those characters as long. Why do you watch it? It's like it's not as much of a commitment. So one of the reasons why I like One Piece and this person likes One Piece is because they're able to stay with those characters for such a long time. I've essentially grown up with One Piece for the past 6 years.
Same. It's only 6 years.
Well, that's when I found it.
Oh, man,
I got into One Piece in the middle of the Dressrosa arc. I plowed through the entire show in 2 months while I was in high school.
Can I tell you when I found it?
Fist cake. Get us Nintendo Switch and put in headphones and just pull up Netflix on the Nintendo Switch while your significant other is spamming The Office over and over and over again.
Yojack, I got into.
Sorry about that.
I got into One Piece when it first aired on.
You're old.
That's how long I've been with One Piece. That's literally. I have been with One Piece for almost its entire run.
That goes into another unpopular opinion I have, but I want to finish this topic first. Go ahead.
Now, I knew of One Piece quite a long time ago. It was on one of the channels I watched something else in my childhood. I have crap memory. Apologies.
Probably 4 kids.
Is it this?
Probably.
Yo, gotta go.
Dude, unpopular opinion, but
it.
that opening is fire. Anime's opening is
Don't give it up,
fire.
Luffy. Don't give it up, Name.
I tried it, and I did not like Luffy's voice actor in the dub. There's one disadvantage of dubs.
You probably watched the 4 kids dub.
But at the same time, I both agree and disagree. Like, if you have the time to delve into other things, why can't you just start this anime, no matter how long it is, and try to enjoy it? But One Piece is intimidating to me because of how long it is, because I cannot, the little bit I've seen of it, I'm not a big fan of the animation style, I'm not a big fan of the dub voice actors. I'm gonna try it someday, maybe, and it's just the fact that I have so many other things I'd rather do before that. And if it was a 20-episode anime, I might delve into it, just because I could get through it in a weekend.
Here's actually want to add on to the animation style thing. This may be popular, this may be unpopular, but animation style should not prevent you from getting into something. And I say this as someone who had that sort of I guess it would be like prejudice in this instance, like against styles. Mob Psycho 100.
I tried to watch RWBY, couldn't get into it because the animation style.
Do you know what I mean about that, Yojack? Mob Psycho 100. The art style.
That's the
art style.
I see what you're saying, and that's my unpopular opinion.
But the art style is not very good, right?
It's not great. It honestly puts me off and makes me dislike it. But I fully understand that's my thing. It's
the thing is, though, is
bad
that
show.
I didn't like it, but I decided, screw it, I'm gonna give this a chance. And I ended up really liking it. I don't like the art, but I really liked the story. I thought it was really fun. And that's just my opinion, is that, like, don't let the art...
Great cinematography, it had great animation, not art. Because art and animation are two different things. Mob had great animation, bad art.
From what I saw of it, it does get better, smoother, prettier. Who knows? Things change in DC. But that anime that we're talking about, that One Piece, there we go. My brain does things.
Yeah, JoJo's art style. This is hard to get into.
JoJo's art style is hard to get into it, but I'm starting to. I'm making myself watch it because of a friend, and I'm starting to do. And
it's the same with One Piece. You get accustomed to the style after a while.
JoJo's is worth watching because of the meme-worthiness of the entire show. Honestly,
One Piece is worth watching because of the emotion. It's Yojack, it's the only thing that's ever made me cry over a boat.
I didn't start watching it because of the emotion. I found out about One Piece through the Foxy arc. Boom. Yeah. The Foxy arc. That is regarded as the worst arc. That was the worst arc in One Piece. So,
the Foxy arc feels like
that's why I love filler, right? In One Piece, at least. So the reason I like the Foxy arc, not just because it introduced me into One Piece, but because it showcased the characters in a bottle. In a bottle. There was no progressing the story, but you still got to see all the characters interact and have fun together, which you don't get to see a lot on the Grand Line. Like, for instance, I'm not going to go into it, but me and DC know that in Wano, we don't get them interacting with each other because they're all going off and doing their own thing. So when you put all the characters in a bottle, that's why in the movies you always have all the characters there, even if it doesn't make canonical sense. Canonical?
Yeah.
Canonical.
Dude, a strong world, though. Oh.
So, my thing is, when you watch One Piece, you watch it for the adventure, not the emotions. The emotions are the thing that's gonna get you when you don't see it coming.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a go someday when I have the time, for sure, because Colette, we all know Colette. She has been on me to watch One Piece for so long.
I wanna live.
But
I wanna live.
We probably should get ready to move on.
I'm just gonna say I wanna live.
I don't. I mean, we could go on about this for a long time. I mean, I didn't even get through a quarter of my list here, but
no, this is literally a topic we can discuss for hours.
Yeah,
I had so
definitely.
many others.
I know we all did, but I don't know. You're the boss man. Do we bring up one more round or move on?
No, we can move on, but I'm just gonna drop my bombs right here before we go. Nostalgia and time, how long you spent with the show, can cloud your judgment. AKA
yes.
AKA Akira and Spirited Away. And my other big thing is that anime is a feeling. It's not. That's very, very complicated. I probably shouldn't even bring that up. But it's less of an art form and more of a feeling, in my book.
I'll just counteract.
I don't like mecha or sport anime. Let's move on.
You can get out.
Get out.
I love mech anime. I love it. It's my thing. But the only thing I'll say about Akira is I don't have nostalgia for Akira. I didn't watch it until I was.
I didn't watch it until I was older either.
Way further in anime. I didn't watch it until a couple years ago. But I liked it. I really liked it. With Spirited Away, though, I'm not going to make any arguments because I watched that as a kid, so I won't even touch that one.
I did not watch that till recently either, so yeah. But anyway.
Some things are just good. And some things you are blinded by.
DC, where did we watch our animes? Where do we do that?
What do you mean you were talking about Anime Club?
I'm talking about Anime Club.
Anime Club?
Are you talking about Anime Club? Hold on, I got my thing.
Wait, is that where you watch anime and then you talk about the anime on this very podcast every week?
Yes, Anime
That's
Club
Sunday?
is where you watch anime.
Yeah, shocking.
We watch animes on Anime Club on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Standard Time. You can watch animes with us by joining the Anime Club voice channel in the server, hosted by Yojack here. Along with the Anime Club episodes, we also watch different anime movie every week. The movies start usually around 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everyone is welcome.
So it's a little different this time because Another's only 12 episodes and Baccano is 13. So we watched
two episodes of Baccano.
Yes. So
we got a lot to cover.
We're gonna start off with Another episode 12, and Stand by Oneself is the episode title.
I will say, for the finale, not a lot happened. That's really to dissect. Not a lot really happened.
A lot of
but
closing loose ends.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And a lot of explosions.
And murder. There was a lot of murder.
Yeah.
Lots of murder. Lots of explosions.
There's a lot of murder, but weirdly, I think they said in the end there was only 8 victims. I was like,
yeah, I was
right.
What?
Yeah. DC, did you get closure about the eyeball chandelier now, though? You know.
The chandelier.
What happened?
The chandelier.
Did you guys see that meme where the chandelier and crushes it, and then the one kid escapes, and then
I saw that meme. I saw that meme years ago, and I had no idea what it was from. And then just this episode, I was like, oh my god, I've seen that before.
It's like
that's
my hopes and dreams stuff. Yep.
That's the opening of the episode is chandelier, boom, and then there's just this girl casually walking through the fire, just like. I was just like, what are you doing?
There is so much stuff that happens, but nothing really comes of it. Like the Cleaver Lady and all that, and just I can sit here and go through.
We do get closure on the Cleaver Lady. We get closure on. We do. But yeah, so boom, chandelier, boom, kid survives, boom, pillar, boom, girl walked through fire, boom, and then we got our.
Did you notice during all this time, May is chill? Just completely.
Yeah, she is.
She loses. I think she shows emotion at least once in the episode. I forgot when.
But the
One
thing
time.
is, we get our 2 dudes who are being chased by a landlady. She comes at her cleaver. Just grab one kid by the pants. He pulls her down. She's got the cleaver, and then Librarian Man, badass, shows up. Boom. That dude, gray-haired. That dude is up there in
He's
age.
a boss.
But
Mr. Shibiki.
Dude's
Shibiki?
Shibiki. Yeah.
He is a boss. And then he takes those kids to his car. Did you notice the asthma kid has not been mentioned? We've seen shots of asthma kid just laying in the car. Is asthma kid okay? Did he die?
He's just
Poor
lying.
asthma kid. F's and chat boys for asthma kid. I mean,
they moved him from the back seat to the the trunk pretty much. Just lying. Like, all right, get in the very back, kid.
Chat boys for poor asthma kid. Just rip. And
he doesn't have a name. It's just asthma kid.
So Mr. Chibiki, the librarian, gray-haired superhero, awesome dude, he takes all the kids to their car, and Patches is the one kid. He tells him, I can't read my own notes, sorry. He tells them to stay there. He's like, stay at the car. Because there was already another student there and all kinds of stuff. Like, he had a small group at the car.
Smart move. Keep them all contained. But then we get like,
and then, remember the glasses cat? The glasses kid that Jock Boy pushed out the window. We meet him again. He's okay.
He's just stabbing people randomly.
Oh, he's stabbing everybody. He runs into.
He's not really.
He's stab happy.
Here's the thing, right? He says that he thinks the main character is the one that is the dead one because that all started in April. He killed 2 people before that.
Yeah, he killed a lot of people. And KJ, don't judge me. I have to name everybody. It's the way my brain works. Okay.
That's how I do it too.
My notes.
I'm the one that called him Glasses Rep.
So many notes.
I can't.
Wait,
why is he...
banana notebook.
So yeah, he tries to kill the main character because it started in murder, and I'm like, dude, you already killed 2 people. I think your judgment is way off. And then Akazawa just whack.
Akazawa. Yeah. I summarized that a lot better than my notes did, so continue while I try to catch up.
Maybe he stabbed those first, like, nope, not that one. No, that's literally what he did. He's like, do you still remember this person? Like, yeah, and he's like, damn, not the right one. And then he's like, I think it was you.
Exactly. And then they kind of argue because she wants to put him down. Mr. Chibiki stops her.
Yeah, he boom grabs the pole, stops her.
Yeah.
And he's like, students shouldn't kill each other.
He was
a murder won't solve our problems. But hold on. In the dub it says a murder won't solve our problems. There's his one that I'll agree with you. Students shouldn't kill each other is much better than a murder won't solve our problems. That is literally what's gonna solve all of this. Is if they murder the right one.
Is going to solve all their problems. So
right?
Here's one note that I have that's very important for this. Main character's goes back into the building after they bring Glasses Dude out. They find out but he goes back in. Dudes with lung problems should probably not be walking through burning buildings.
You're not wrong. Gotta watch out for that asbestos.
Well, asbestos. But the other thing is just that the heat, the smoke goes into your lungs. He has problems with collapsing lungs.
Yeah, he's got glass lung or
smoke inhalation is not going to help
mine
you.
is like literally wide as Koichi. Like Koichi goes back inside ? Like why? There is literally a grown ass man standing right there that could do the danger thing.
He's got to go find May. He loves.
Why did the librarian stop him? Why did not Mr. Kubiki go?
There's a lot of questions.
Hey,
a lot of questions.
No, stay. Good boy.
Actually, I can bring it back. It's like Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory. No, stop, don't, come back. But no, he goes in there and he sees May and Akazawa.
They're squaring off. They're. I mean, May might be angry. She's just pretty much the same expression that she has.
It's so hard to tell what her emotions are.
She's there, and they're staring each other down. Koichi tries to stop him, and the class rep just yeets Koichi. She yeets him. He has been yoked. Like,
collapse.
How is she so strong, A, and B, he's a champ. He was, kicked in the nards the last episode, and...
He's been kicked in the nards, he's been stabbed.
Walk it off.
Dude walks it off like a champ. He's been.
They still.
Dude took a stabbing like a freaking champ.
They fight, and then there's like an explosion, and that little balcony type second floor. Was it lightning? Sorry.
It's like lightning. There's a lot of like. The god of Another was not happy this episode.
And then that whole section went down to the bottom floor.
And then we get
and they're still fighting.
Yeah, and then there's a fight.
And then she cuts off May's eye patch. Yeah.
And
She's
then
got, at first I thought it was like a poker, like a fireplace poker.
I don't know.
But
it acted like a rod, but it acted like a rod, but it also had a point. I don't know.
The thing I was confused about was when she got the eye patch off, and then we saw through her eyes in a POV cam when she looked at the girl, and then she was all deady, or not all deady, all blacky. I don't know how to.
Yeah, there was like a black, grayish kind of.
What was that?
Because of what happened immediately next. If you remember, that's the color of death.
You're right.
That she was finna die.
You're right, DC.
She saw the. Well, what happened immediately after that?
She finna die.
The explosion, the glass.
She got yoinked.
Like, she beats up Koichi some more, and she knees him again, and he takes it like a champ again. And she's like, I'm trying to save you all, don't you understand it? And she was like, then eventually she's like, you know what? I'm gonna kill you too. Lightning strike.
Lightning strike. Explosion. Glass.
Breaks.
We have a flashback again of the moment when she kicks the can, and she meets with him, and she's laying on the ground. She's got glass in her, and she asks if he remembers her hitting him with an empty can, and he's like, no, I don't. She's like, you idiot, you're supposed to say yes even if you don't remember. I want to bring up something.
Koichi somehow, like, she was pinned up to the wall, but Koichi somehow like pulled her down.
He got her down. Here's the thing I want to mention though. I looked into this after the episode because I had to know. I had questions.
For the quest of knowledge.
In the manga, Akazawa doesn't die. In the manga, Akazawa survives. She doesn't die.
Come on, do we know she died? She kind of just passed out though. Like,
she dies. It is confirmed in anime. She died. That's what I looked into. It literally states she is dead. That's they saw the cover of death.
Like, she was alive long enough to sit there and have a chat with him after that way the glass impaled her too, though. Like,
there was no saving her. That glass was very deep in her organs. There literally no. So, anyways,
and then there's another explosion, more lightning. Oh, sorry. Were you saying something? Go ahead.
I was saying May is gone, and also I wrote, the curse is in overtime right now.
It really is. I put explosion, lightning, calamity, exposition. I mean, there's just.
The curse is working hard, but he calls May. He gets signal in a burning building. He calls May, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm in the backyard. Don't come."
Why would you tell him if you don't want him to come?
Yeah,
why would you tell him where you are then?
You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like what it is. She said pretty much. May is with the dead one.
Yeah, the dead one. And he goes out there to find her, and May's picking up a pickaxe, and we see who the dead.
You get hit with two things right here.
Yes.
You get hit with two things because it's like two plot twists in one. Like, first off, everyone knew it was a big mystery who the dead one is, but it's just who exactly the dead one is. You see that it's the assistant teacher.
It's the assistant teacher.
Mrs. Mikami.
Mm-hmm.
Mikami Sensei.
Who?
And then you get.
Yeah.
Mrs. Mikami. His aunt.
Who is Reiko?
It's his aunt.
It's his aunt, but it's basically Okasan.
Back in the original, like one of the first episodes, she said, "I'm going to tell you some rules about, because you get a flashback of this."
Yeah, you get a flashback.
And you don't get to see like the first rule, and that is the first rule.
It's the fourth rule.
Or the fourth rule. She lets her hair down, and she takes off her glasses, and she goes, "When we're at school, I'm your teacher. That's it."
Yeah.
Her hair color changes too. It might just be the way that she's always in the light and always in the dark.
I looked that up too. It happens in the manga. In the manga, her hair changes colors too. But in the manga, her Reiko form in the anime is her teacher form. and her teacher form is her
yes,
Reiko.
I
They
did look that up as well. Yes.
It was weird.
I did.
But I want to bring up a detail here. We do get a flashback, and it like my poor so and so, his mom who died, and then my poor Reiko as well. He says, and then he's like, we start realizing all of these things, which is what brings back to the whole like, rewatch it because you get new context. But did you guys notice? This is a very interesting thing. May's false eye obviously has a pupil that is going to be the same size no matter what, always.
Yes.
But when she was looking at the fire, her normal eye had a smaller pupil, and at first I thought that maybe that was just like how it always was. But during like the other parts of the episode, because I was looking at her eyes more in detail, her pupil size changes. It actually changes when she's looking at the fire.
It might have been an error in animation, but either way, it was interesting.
I think it was a very interesting detail to add. That the light coming into this eye would cause the pupil to change, and it wouldn't change in this one. It's just a small, tiny little detail added in that I thought was interesting, and I wanted to make a note of it.
Pretty much, May was going to get rid of Miss Mikami to spare Koichi the suffering of it.
But he does it himself.
He does it himself. And did you notice? And then, just as like that's happening, you get like Reiko begs, and then he gets memories of like flashbacks of. Reiko was like one of my favorite characters in this anime. Like Reiko was the drunk aunt. I really enjoyed Reiko.
Yeah, you find out
everything a year and a half ago, and a year and a half ago.
You find out that's when Reiko was killed by some dude.
Yeah, some
guy. You never found him.
No, it was weird the way they did that.
Why,
like they literally showed her being killed because May saw it.
Yeah.
Do you have something to say, Yojack? I'm sorry.
Sorry. I was just like, she died in some mugging? Was she mugging?
No, it wasn't a mugging. It was just some dude went crazy.
So
it was a mugging. Yeah, they did. The news report said it was a mugging.
But it wasn't. Yeah. It was just some dude who stabbed her.
My question is like.
But didn't we come back to the fact that dude had something to do with
really
the class?
known for like not a lot of crime, and when there is crime, you get persecuted. So my issue is like we have no explanation, or very little explanation to why she was murdered, and even it's a very big plot point.
No, I can tell you why it happened. Literally, it was the calamity. Remember, there was a calamity. She was a victim of the calamity, and we know so far the curse doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this
because she was actually a teacher of the class. She wasn't the assistant teacher, but there was that one interesting point that was brought up. What other classes have assistant teachers? And he's like, none. Only class 3. And it was like, that's why she kept saying missing or extra person, not extra.
Yes. Well, when he brings that pickaxe down, he says goodbye, mother. Now this was where I went and watched. I pulled up a sub of this episode and I watched that part in sub because I'm like, mother, that's got to be an error. But no, it was not. He said goodbye, mother.
But it isn't his mom. It was weird because Reiko's not his mom.
He called him
because she took the place of his mother when his mother passed.
Yeah, it makes sense because she was there. Yeah. So, after that, he gets out of the hospital. Main character went to the hospital because his lungs collapsed again. Because, duh. He's not supposed to be doing. He was in a burning building with bad lungs, and then he decides to swing a pick. Yeah, of course. And they go to the grave, and they meet with teacher, and he's like, "Oh, I hear you."
May was there. Yeah, it was kind of a sweet wrap up.
Yeah.
Pretty much only them.
May
members.
May threw away her phone.
Yeah, the librarian seemed to kind of remember.
No, he was told who the extra was, and he was like, "Oh." Okay. But
and then that's when he says that the old company that went crazy at they had the grandson was part of the class calamity. He died.
Yeah, he was the one that got chopped up by the boat, I think.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Wait.
Oh.
Maybe I don't.
No, I don't think there was a reason one.
Never mind. That was my own notes. It was one from this class. Apologies, I wrote it.
Dude got chopped up by the boat, I believe, and then they just went crazy. And then
and then they talked about the calamity from 2 years previous to that too,
That's where Reiko died.
Yeah. And then they kind of just have like a nice little walk.
Yeah, nice, sweet little thing. He wants to go to the amusement park. She doesn't really like cat.
Yeah.
He doesn't really like.
They talk about the group pictures with the ant in it.
Yeah.
How they can still see her, but no one else can.
No one else can.
And then it's the color of death on her too.
Yeah, but the important thing is the very, very end after the credits.
Yes.
At the very, very end.
And our art boy, our screaming lemon art boy.
They make a new tape.
Yes. But they have better instructions.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Talk it over.
Oh, they make a new tape.
Think it through carefully.
I didn't get that.
Oh, you didn't see that part?
No, I watched it. I just did. It went over my head.
Yeah, they were like,
what the? Why are they showing the tape from like 4 episodes ago?
No, they remade their own tape for the next class that has to encounter the calamity. So yeah.
So
that's the end of the story.
So I have questions.
That show was good. I enjoyed it. I really did.
It was very interesting. It was a very interesting series. Not as interesting as our next one.
Before we move on from
another,
I have to know, DC, since you have the answers to most of my questions. If she had the color of her eye, why didn't she just go, oh, episode 1, there's a calamity. Let me take this off. Look around the room. You're the thing.
She already knew.
Then why didn't she say anything?
Because she didn't know what it would do to help.
Well, they did kind of choose before it started. They chose her to be the ignored one, so maybe she thought that it would be ended there. That she didn't have.
No one would believe her.
I mean, normally
that too. And Miss Mikami was very nice to the kids. Like, she was well loved. If all of a sudden the girl's like, the girl that's supposed to be ignored was like, oh no, it's our teacher. We need to kill our teacher.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, think about it. Before that, nobody knew how to really stop the calamity. So what's the point in telling anybody who the dead person is? It's not going to stop anything.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
And I think that she really kept it quiet because of the connection to the main character. She didn't really, like she said, I didn't want to ruin that for you.
Yeah,
so that's all the dead people.
Yeah.
But look at how
she until they found the tape, there was no way of knowing how to stop anything. So.
Yeah, that's true. But look at how many people died because of the fact.
Her saying something in the beginning wouldn't have changed anything. It probably would have made matters worse.
As soon as they found the tape, she could have said something right then.
Yeah, but I'm with her on not wanting to just, kill someone. It's kind of a...
I get that part, but I just feel like knowing the information and not saying anything about it to anyone.
Evidence, that's illegal.
I don't know. I get why she didn't do it. I get why she didn't do it. I get why it changed once everyone started going crazy. But I understand why she didn't do it, and then I understand why she changed.
All right, that was
just
my question.
Done something different if Koichi had died in the calamity? Because he was the only one that was really nice to her.
Well, she really shifted just when people started attacking her. And at first she was like, okay, people can attack me, but when she saw that girl, she's like, I don't want people to die. She was fine with her being killed, but she didn't want everyone else to die.
Yep.
May's a very
interesting person.
Baccano!
Hero and the 3 Gondor brothers are felled by assassins.
Ooh, we got a lot to cover. Let's get through this recap.
So much. So much.
So
maybe I should just not talk during this recap because I am really bad at condensing things.
So let's just blaze through this recap so we can just talk about what happened. So we don't have to this happened.
Are we covering both episodes or 12 then 13? 12 then 13 or 12 then 13? Okay.
Do you want me to blaze through the episode 12?
Yeah. Get 12 out of the way. Do it.
So it starts with Rachel back at the information office where she's talking to her boss, and then they have these little instances where he's asking, "Whoa, what's going on and what happened?" She goes and explains sort of how she saved the senator's daughter. He asks why. She says, "Well, I just didn't want to see people die." Then she saves Niece and Nick. Then, oh god, she's shot in the leg for saving Niece and Nick. So, boom, good guy Jacuzzi. Oh, he's a good guy. He explains like why I'm not crying anymore. Moves on with his day. Then we find that Dallas is held up. Dallas is sort of back with Firo and everything. They're held up by the Gondors, which for some reason the Gondors have silencers on their guns in the 1930s, which I didn't think was a thing. But whatever. Anyways, they get blah 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 blapped, and Dallas and everybody gets taken down. Ooh, ba-do-do-do-do. Then we have Misa running from Zillard, who is hit by a car. As he follows Misa out of the window, he gets hit by a car. So after that, we get the Rail Tracer being crazy and talking about how the world is his because he's the main character.
He thinks he's pretty much a god. Like, this is his world, yeah.
Yeah, and he believes that if he does, everyone else will. So anyways, after that, we find out that Cheslin ate Femrals, whatever the heck that guy's name was. The guy who tortured him, Cheslin, ate him. We also find out, we get confirmation, Isaac is immortal.
Bro, that reveal was insane. I was like,
sorry.
yo!
I called it. I called it again.
Isaac immortal!
I mean,
that
I
caught
did
me off
say
guard.
it was more than
that.
likely that they drank their stolen alcohol.
So,
But
yes,
anyway,
that's what I thought. Okay.
Then we get Rail Tracer again.
But you missed the cute between Isaac and
No, I didn't miss it. We're gonna get
there. Okay, I'll shut up.
We're gonna get there.
I'll shut up.
Anyways, we're doing a recap. Anyways, then Lua shows up, and while the Rail Tracer is having his little battle with Lad, and we find out that Niece has a bomb kink. That's a very important fact. She has a bomb kink. It's very true.
It's in her eye.
No, we are getting there.
Okay.
We are getting there.
But yeah, she's got a thing with bombs.
The bombs went off, and she was like, yeah, bomb kink. Anyways, so then Jacuzzi comes in and saves the day with Niece, because Niece is being attacked by another person. He fires his gun off, puts him into the bathroom, they run off. Then Isaac and Mira are Isaac and Mira, and they save the day. They save Cheslin by going out and grabbing him. Yes. Anyways, Lad is Lad.
Lad is Lad. Let's go, dude.
Was
it that episode or the next one where he gets the rope and then has to save his...
Next episode.
Okay.
No, this episode. Maybe. No, hold on. Yeah, it's this episode. He gets thrown off the train with Lua. Anyways, then we find out that behind Niece's eye patch is a bomb. She has a bomb eye.
It's like a little cherry bomb, and she gives it to Jacuzzi.
She's like, this is my last bomb.
And then here it is. We find out man who was shot at by Jacuzzi has a flamethrower. And then Isaac and Mira try and save Cheslin. They throw the rope. It misses. But Rachel grabs the rope. Oh no. Then Rachel sort of lets go, misses it. Rail Tracer grabs the rope. Boom. He then sees Dawn, and he's like, here, pull them in. And Dawn's like, what's going on with this rope? And he sees Isaac and Mira and Cheslin, and he's like, wah! And that was pretty much the episode.
Yay.
Now we can discuss
some highlights of the episode.
I did a very good job at condensing what happened.
I mean, I still have one tooth to know that's the next episode. I have a page left, but you know.
So, what were our favorite moments from episode 12?
But keep going.
I love the Isaac reveal.
Episode 13 is named.
Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, let's take a moment to talk about episode 12 first, and then.
Oh.
So yeah, you did the recap. Let's just, what were our thoughts, overall feelings?
I
was hyped all the way through.
I felt vindicated. I was like, hell yeah, I'm right again.
Yeah, I mean, I agreed with you there. I mean, most likely Mira is immortal as well, because they're partners in crime for everything that they do.
Yeah.
And it was alcohol. I mean, of course they're gonna drink it. They thought it was alcohol.
Yeah.
And then Jacuzzi and Niece have their little sweet moment.
But that was sweet. But Jacuzzi's whole thing about the reason he cries so much.
Was that episode 12? When he hugs her and he's like, the reason I cry so much is so that when I'm actually... Okay.
Yeah, no, that happened in this episode. He didn't hug her to say it, but he said the reason he cries so much is so that when he needs to cry, he no longer has... The tears are all dried up.
Yeah.
In the next episode is when he does the hug and says the thing, but we'll get to that.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, Rail Tracer, man, his ideology was.
And Rail Tracer decided to save Isaac and Miria because they're fine passengers.
He's dodging bullets on the top of the train. He's
Dude,
like,
yeah, no.
If you want to be with me, I'll be here. I'm gonna go take care of that. Oh, okay, sorry.
I like
no,
this
I know.
by the way.
I'm getting mixed up.
KJ's130 in chat says you could say that her eye is the ball.
Yeah,
I liked it. I like puns.
Oh, that was just gross to me though. The idea
it was
of
kind of bad.
Having, like,
I mean, it'd be a way to smuggle an explosive into a place that you normally wouldn't. Who's gonna check under your eye patch? Who's gonna be like, excuse me, miss, what do you got under there?
You're trying to touch my eye.
But yeah, no, I loved the interaction between Lad and the Rail Tracer because it's just two crazy people.
So awesome! It was so awesome.
When an unstoppable force meets an unmovable object.
Yeah,
Lad's just going in there, but Rail Tracer's she's calm, cool, and collected.
Two crazy people. I really like two crazy people interacting. That's fun.
Amazing.
Oh, we kind of missed the part where Zillard gives Ennis a knife and kind of tells her.
No, that was the next episode.
No, it was not. This is still on this episode.
Nope.
So let's just move on to the next episode then, and then we'll talk about both of them.
The reason I know it's the next episode is I have notes right here.
Okay, fine. I also have notes.
So
okay, we all have notes. Let's just do it.
Are you ready for
episode 13? The title is Both the Immortals.
Both the Immortals and those who aren't sing the praises of life equally.
Yes. Yay!
So, this is where it happens. Rail Tracer questions Chane about Huey and wants about Huey if he really is immortal. When she's asking the questions, you see Huey in the background, and Huey is like sitting there like this, and he's like, "Is Huey your close friend relative?" He's like this. "Is Huey your father?" She's like nodding. He's like this. He's like, "Is he really immortal?" And he goes like this, and then she backs away. I noticed that was very interesting. Didn't care. Immortality, keep it quiet.
Yeah, exactly. I gained that they were like having a communication during that time. So.
Now. So, Rail Tracer reveals that he doesn't actually really give a crap about immortality because he already believes himself to be immortal because he already believes that he's not going to die. So, anyways, Rail Tracer then goes on to talk about Shane, about how he's interested in her and how he wants to be with her and how he won't die, blah, 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 blah. And he says, you don't have to answer, just go ahead and write your answer into the drink. So
he proposes to her in the dub.
Yes, he did. Yes. Then we do find out that from Nice that it is actually a tattoo. We find out he seemed to have gotten the tattoo after she was in an accident where she lost her eye and got scarred up. So Nice is scarred. Shakuzi is tattooed. Very weird. I don't understand.
I imagine Nice is scarred because of explosions.
Yeah, I mean, probably yes. But he does reveal that she reveals that he didn't even cry when he never got this tattoo. Then we get Jacuzzi versus Flamethrower Man. Jacuzzi, headbutt, handgun. You're welcome for that pun.
You're going fast. I have a slow brain.
She can't.
It's fine. It's fine. Anyways,
I'm just trying to keep my notes up with him. That's all I'm trying to do.
Anyways, so we get what the fuck moment? We get Zillard, knife, Isaac and Mira, brain, Enos turns. I also have to the Jacuzzi bomb, which I have to admit, Nice said the bomb had not much power. The bomb had not much power. Not much power. You saw the explosion. Enough. You saw the explosion. Not much power. Anyways, then we get a little moment where it's like, ooh, is Rail Tracer going to take on Jacuzzi? Then we get Cheslin's.
Nick makes it in the river. Nick gets in the river.
Yeah, Nick gets in the river. There's a lot of things, but then there was like this blood when Jacuzzi and the flamethrower guy were fighting. There was this like whole thing of blood, which ends up turning out to be Cheslin's arm, and then we get oh Jesus Christ! We get a fight between like, or we get a moment where we realize that everybody is immortal. They all come out and they're like boo 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 boo, and Zillard is like, whoa, what's going on? And Enos is like, you gotta put your hand on him. You gotta put your hand on him. And he's like, Fiora's just like, oh, boo. And then she's like, no, think eat. He's like, oh, boo. So Fiora eats Zillard. And then Rail Chaser just kind of leaves. He just looks at them and he just like leaves. I don't understand what happened there. then we get good guy Firo, who's just like, "What's your name?" And she's like, "Ennis," and she's like, "But you should already know that by now." And he's like, "Yeah, I just want to hear you say it."
Yo.
And I was just like, "Dude's got game, Firo."
Just kiss already.
Look, we're just doing a quick recap, Angels. We're just doing a quick recap. We're busting through it as quick as possible. Anyways, then
I'm trying to keep up with you in my notes, honestly.
Then we find out what happened to Dallas. So Dallas was actually put into a barrel and then given cemented and then thrown.
Oh, that part.
Yo. Yes. Woo. So I was just like, and we find out that basically what's going to happen to him is that the people that want him want to study him. So good for him. He's going to be a science experiment for the rest of his life.
What I found interesting about that, real quick, is the fact that the ones that drank it, they get immortality, but they still age. But the ones that got it initially get immortality and they don't age. I just found
that's because the potion that was given to Dallas and everybody else was an incomplete potion. It was not the complete potion, so they don't have the no age thing. However, all the ones that drank it at the party do have that. They are fully immortal because they drank the completed potion. But anyways, we get like the dude says that he didn't want to kill Elizabeth's family. It was all that one dude, and that one guy's like, "Boss, why are you here?" Bang! Kills that guy, and he's like, "I hope that makes it up to you." Elizabeth agrees that they can, as long as they drudge. They can have Dallas, basically, if they dredge him out, as long as she gets to go talk to him. We find out that Cheslin wanted to eat Misa, but he ends up, because he thinks Misa's going to eat him, they end up having a hug, they end up having a moment where he cries, and Cheslin has had these moments throughout the episode where he doesn't trust immortals, but then he has this moment where he finally shifts, and he changes, and he gets happy. And then apparently Shawnee said yes, she's going to be waiting for the rail chaser in Manhattan, and he's like, well, Manhattan's a big place. And he's going to go meet with her.
Good job, K-Face130 in chat, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but they are working hard.
Anyways, and then at the very end, we at the very end of the episode, we cut to 2001. This is the very end of the thing. We cut to 2001, where Isaac and Mira finally realize that they haven't aged.
They're stealing phones in like a big city somewhere.
They're not even really stealing them. They're just sort of grabbing them and dropping them.
What I found interesting is that they go how many years? Was it like 70 years?
Like 70 years, yes.
Without being like, oh my god, Miria, we don't age.
Random doodle page.
You know what I think, honestly, Jack? I think they did have that moment, but then they forgot. It's Isaac and Mira.
It is
I really
Isaac and Mira.
honestly think that this happens.
I feel like I
time.
could be in their little duo and make it a trio and fit right in perfectly because I don't remember stuff in here. Isaac and Mira are Isaac and Mira. So anyways, that was the quick recap. Whew. Did you notice she called him Cat Daddy in 2001? Okay, Cat Daddy.
She did not in the
not in the sub.
She
did say Daddy.
Yeah.
She called him Cat Daddy.
I think that was because they were dressed up like the 70s.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they were.
But, yeah, it's just.
Isaac and Mira, man.
Okay, can we take just one moment? I know we have to barrel on ahead, and we're already probably over time, but
that's fine. Let's talk about
did you guys notice that it did not come back full circle to where that beginning episode in the wreck of the train, the wreck of the trains that were
What about
behind?
the two in the beginning?
Unanswered questions.
Well, the little girl and the old guy in the very first episode was like, who do we start the story with? I don't know, maybe these two.
That was never touched either, like.
And they mentioned Firo was like, yeah, Firo seems like he would be a good main character of the story. Firo's barely in it.
Yeah, just. It was a wild ride, and there is.
Can I read the manga? Am I gonna get more context? Can I read the manga? Is it long form manga? Like, is this like
But we have the special episodes though.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch those in my own time. I just need to know. What? I need answers.
Are we gonna watch those? We'll touch them later.
I'm flat out telling you right now. I'm gonna watch the specials on my own time.
I think we're not.
It's fine.
And we'll talk about that another time.
See?
Anyway, another time. Anyway, our movie was Pompoko, and unfortunately, we probably don't have enough time to touch on that.
That's fine. We can.
I wanna give some closing thoughts on Baccano. I really want to give some closing thoughts. I really think that closing thoughts on Another it was a very good series. I think that it was really well done. I think that the pacing was great, and I think it ended satisfyingly. Baccano was a wild roller coaster of a ride that had insane pacing, insane how it was written, and I don't think it ended satisfyingly. I have so many more questions that are left unanswered.
Well, there's still a couple more episodes left, so...
I don't know if they're going to answer my questions.
Probably not. Probably not. Jace, I see what you're doing in chat, and it looks fantastic. Thank you for your hard work.
But, in all honesty, Baccano was a very interesting ride. I kind of am disappointed that the whole thing was about the flying pussyfoot, in all honesty. I really wish...
That was the thing I liked about it. I liked the whole show revolving around the train. I think the issue that we have is the fact that it's cutting between a bajillion different perspectives and not just chronologically. This is what's happening over here. Okay, now let's cut to over here, but it's at the same time instead of this is here, that's over there, that's over here. That's
the pacing of it. That's what I mean. The pacing of it is so weird. It hurts my brain because like certain things are happening at the same time, but certain things are happening out of order. And then like there's moments where you get like a scene that happens before another scene, and then you find out the context of that scene in the next scene, and I'm like, what is...
I see what they're trying to do though, and I think DC, you know what they're trying to do too. They're trying to frame the show in a way to where it has a sort of through line, because the finale with the old dude and the getting hit by Isaac and Miria happens before the flying pussyfoot, right?
Yeah.
But they want that to be the finale, so they need to tell the story in a way where the emotional climaxes like that happen at the end. So how do we frame things in a way where the story leads up to that?
I understand that. It's just I think that it's a shame because the show is hurt by how many characters it has.
Yes, I agree with that.
But isn't that part of the charm of it though? Like,
in a way,
it's a double-edged sword there.
There's a lot of charm to all of this. The whole show is chaos, and that's the way it's presented. That's the way it's written. That's the way the characters represent it. It's just supposed to be erratic, all over the place. Try to keep up if you can, viewers or readers. If you're, I don't know if the manga does the same, but
it's to the detriment to like it's to its detriment that there's so many characters, but not enough time to spend on them.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and I would love to see more delving into this world. I would love to see.
No, it's literally this could be a long form anime. This could be a really long anime because there's so many characters and so much story. Yeah, and so much potential.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Huey? We get no conclusion with Huey. Nothing.
Which one's Huey?
We don't even get any conclusion with the demon thing.
We get no conclusion with nothing. Okay,
there's no closure.
Well, my thing is the story revolved around the train and what events led up to the characters being on the train and immediately after. And
but so many things brought up that don't get closure.
Yeah, I agree with that. But if you had quote unquote a second season,
we know how Lad
would that work?
Women get thrown out though.
Yeah, we know what happened to them. Except for they were found surrounded by train cars, but the train didn't lose.
Maybe Jacuzzi's bomb blew off a couple of the trains on the end, cars on the end. I don't know. I don't know.
And then they said that the cars were replaced, but they never. I understand why they replaced cars. There was a lot of explosions, but the cars. It's never shown the cars detaching, and things don't add up.
Maybe it's just one of those things, and I was going to actually mention this in Unpopular Anime Opinions. I do not like when shows are like, figure it out yourself. This is up for your interpretation. No. Yeah. I need concrete.
I think that's a balance, right?
Definitive.
It doesn't need to be completely one way or the other. I think it's a hard balance to where the show is trying to give us the tools to figure out the story, while not giving us, cohesiveness. Where
but the problem, that's just my issue. It's just like the things that don't align. There are things that don't align, but yeah.
And I get it, but at the same time, if you take the show for what it was good.
Yeah, like I said, it was good. I enjoyed it. It's just there's things that I didn't like about it, but that's true anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Okay, our movie Pompoko. Unless we're not done talking about Baccano and Another.
You're good with Baccano and Another.
It was good. That was good. I can't wait to see what next season comes with us for Anime Club.
I'm very interested into seeing, and you should all be interested in seeing what anime we're going to be watching for season 1.
Keep an eye on updates on all the official areas and locales that you already know about.
Keep an eye.
You know, do those things. Anyway, Pompoko.
To check out.
For those of you that have not seen that movie, I highly recommend it. It's an older movie. DC, since you've got the power of technology at your fingers, could you look up for me when that movie was first released?
When Pompoko was first released?
While he's doing that, we can talk about the movie.
Yes. And...
Oh, I have seen.
Yeah, all the official areas right there. Look in chat, guys. KJ's has it.
Pompoko was released January 1st, 1994.
94. So it's an older movie, but it's a Ghibli. It's one of the what's the word I'm looking for?
Lesser known.
Overlooked. Lesser known. There you go. Lesser known movies. And I have seen this movie before. I saw it in the past when I was first getting into anime, and we rented it, actually, back when movie rentals were a thing. It's very charming. But overall, the movie, for me watching it now as an adult, it's sad. It's sad.
That's most Studio Ghibli films.
So,
very...
a peek behind the curtain. I saved this one for last. I decide the Anime Club shows and movies. And I saved this one for last because it's, other than Princess Kaguya, which I don't want to... it's the last Ghibli movie I haven't seen. I've seen all the other ones, so I wanted to save the last one I haven't seen for the last week.
That's fair.
Fun fact, it made 4.47 billion yen in Japan.
Wow.
Which is good for an anime movie in the 90s, especially.
So what I was enjoying most about Pompoko is the...
hold on, though, real quick, if I don't mean to interrupt, but it's a pretty much a movie where you follow Tanuki, or they call them raccoons in the English dub, and their struggle for survival. So.
Oh, you did watch
actually the dub.
That's quick.
So
I did good.
For the dub, I normally watch Ghibli movies dubbed. For some reason, I can't explain it. Don't ask me why, but I tend to lean towards the dub specifically for the Ghibli movies. It might
because
be...
Ghibli dubs are well done.
Like I said,
yeah, it might be.
Dub is good sometimes,
yeah,
is good other times.
It might be just because a nostalgia thing. Because when I was, me and my buddy had a Ghibli month where he'd come over every day of the month, and we just watch a new Ghibli movie. So
that sounds like a good time.
He didn't like subs, or we couldn't find the subs, so sometimes we would just watch it dubbed, and it was just a tradition to always watch it dubbed. Anyway, back to Pompoko.
And yeah, Pompoko. So pretty much it was about the, correct me if I'm wrong, I took absolutely no notes on this. I'm not allowed to take notes on the movies anymore. I was naughty and take too many notes. But it was back during the population boom in Japan, where great swaths of forest land had to be leveled to make room for housing and other things like that. And it's about some tanuki, or also known as raccoon dogs, that are just trying to eke out a living in the forest that's disappearing around them. So we kind of are with this one group. What were they called? The something or other hills or forest or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I honestly, if you don't mind me continuing going on, interrupt me if you want, guys. I honestly, as watching this as an adult, the overall movie is sad, because, minor spoilers, they don't win. They can't beat the humans. They can't beat the humans' progress. It's kind of like over the hedge thing. Like, you're sending a bunch of forest animals against humans with, construction equipment. And yes, these tanuki are magical. They can shapeshift to an extent. They can turn themselves into humans and all this kind of stuff. And then they have their lovely raccoon pouch, for those of you that watched the movie.
Uh-huh.
It's their cojones. They can
their
shape
cojones.
their cojones, their huevos, their
In one part of the movie, they were using their cojones to fly.
Yes.
Literally.
And then crush the enemy with their cojones.
They just swole them up really big, so they were jumping on these big hairy balls and smashing them. And I use that as in the shape, not as in the body part. Clarification. But that's what they were. Okay.
For all of our viewers, I will tell you an interesting fact about tanukis. In the Japanese mythos, if you have a question and you rub a tanuki's cojones, you can get the answer to that question.
Oh yes, they did draw them. Every male tanuki in this show had cojones, had them.
Any question?
They had, like, if it was a video game, I'd call it jiggle physics. They moved and wobbled with the action of the characters.
My eyes. I can't get rid of it.
As they didn't just leave it at that. There was one scene in the movie where a female tanuki was laying down and her shirt was open. You saw tanuki tit. You saw boob. Nipple and all. Not gonna lie. I actually was like, wait a minute, did I just back up? Yep, I saw that. That was a thing.
They're being equal.
Japan's assaulting small furry animals.
Jason's Jet.
Chase.
Well, no, actually, their culture has a big respect for tanukis and raccoon dogs.
Yeah.
So I loved how the movie took place in a way where it wasn't just all the raccoons are just raccoons and they're together. No, they were like, these raccoons don't like those raccoons, and there are secret raccoons that live off in the middle of nowhere. Let's send someone to go get them.
For those of you who know about it, it's Warrior Cats, but with raccoons. Okay, remember the Warrior Cats books? It's Warrior Cats, but with raccoons.
Yes.
Okay.
By rubbing them, yes.
But yeah, and they had different factions, and then the animation, the way they animated. When I was younger, I didn't understand because you see them hyper realistic raccoon dogs, and then you see them cartoony, more human-like, emoting creatures. And then their way that they animate them changes on the tanuki's mood. And when I was younger, I didn't understand why they did it that way, but now it's just like they shapeshift when they choose to emote, pretty much.
Yeah. I love the tackling of the tanukis and their land versus humans and their constant need for getting more human land. And in a way, it explains how raccoons become what we see them as now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And eventually, it comes down. Now, these raccoons, they try everything. They all get really, like, shapeshifting for this clan of raccoons was pretty much a lost art. And they all practice it really good until they can shapeshift really well, and until they can use their magic for illusion and all that kind of stuff. And they start fighting the humans. There's different factions that, like, one faction of the raccoons, like, we have to kill them. Hi, sorry, I have a visitor. I didn't know she was in here. Sorry, guys. But that's Vega. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and one faction of the raccoons is like, we have to kill him. One faction is like, no, we need to
oh, I love that.
Learn to work together with them. And yes, KJ's Shadow Clan. Yes, exactly. I'm glad I'm not the only one who read those books. I still like them.
One of the raccoons definitely just had a murder boner for the humans and was like, let's just kill them all. And then the rest of the raccoons like, no, we're not gonna. No, it's a bad idea.
Pretty much. And they kind of separate. They go off and meet other clans of raccoons and look for help. Don't scratch me or I will put you...
The one that wanted to kill everyone stood up in front of everyone, was like, yo, if you're with me, let's go kill the humans! And then 2 seconds later is like, we're not gonna kill the humans, we can't even focus on something. All of us are hungry right now. And then the guy's like, yeah, I just want food. Or we can't focus.
I'm just mad. Need an outlet.
Angel's is talking right now, but we can't hear her.
No, it's completely muted.
Don't worry, it was just her cat disconnecting her.
It was the cat. Naughty girl, Vega. Get out of here. Go away, you naughty. Anyway, but they come to like where they put all of their efforts and resources into making a show of power to these humans. Like, we're gonna show them that the spirits are angry, and they go full out. It's like demons in the sky, big skeletons, and all this kind of stuff. And it was full out like parades and horror nightmare things. The humans absolutely loved it. They were like, oh, this is great. And then the human world like took credit for it. There was an amusement park that took credit for the display.
Yep.
So pretty much, and then a fox comes to them, and the fox is like, well, the only way you guys are going to survive if you do what the foxes do.
I love how they did that. Where in the end, the fox was right. They had to pose as humans or just, scavenge.
They had to either live in the city and adapt, or pose as humans and live as humans do. And as I said, it's very sad because the inevitable conclusion that comes in the movie is they can't win. They're either going to have to give up or give in. They can't
fight progress.
The moral of the movie is just change, and I feel like that message comes through pretty clearly.
Adapt or you get taken over.
Pretty much. And it is a good one. I watched it with my kids, except they fell asleep halfway through because I'm a night owl. But it is a good one, and I did have to pause now and then to explain a couple things to my child, just because they're not
Japanese culture.
Exactly the demographic that was,
Japanese culture.
Yeah, and I did have to explain Japanese culture to them, and he's like, why do they look different? And I'm like, I understand that now. I got you. I can tell you that one. But yes, if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a really good movie, and it's a fun movie because they also really love to party. So every excuse for these Tanukis is an excuse for party, and it's a good time. It's a good movie. Watch it. It's a Ghibli. You can't go wrong with Ghibli. You can't. So.
All right.
Any other thoughts on Pompoko? Did we find out why it was called Pompoko?
That was the age, the era that they were known for, or that was the movie was set place in. I don't know which one.
Gotcha.
It was like an era.
I understand. So, DT, are you gonna watch this movie?
Yeah, I was gonna watch it, but I overslept.
It's okay. Now I spoiled the whole thing for you, so sorry about that.
I don't care about spoilers.
But when you start it and you find out their dilemma, you kinda know.
Literally, I don't care about being spoiled. It does not matter to me.
But anyway,
it doesn't
we
stop
have
me
some Empire news.
Let's mosey on over to
we still need an
Empire
Overwatch
News.
Huh?
Oh, I was just copying you. Let's mosey on over to Empire News. Otaku Empire.
Yay! We still need an Overwatch manager, so contact the things with the people if you are interested or know somebody. We've said that a lot. You guys know what to do. You know what to do. But Yojack, do you want to do this part?
I sent it to you. I don't have it on me currently.
I mean, you read it off my screen. You'll be alright.
No, it's too blurry there.
I'm trying to be funny.
But
we are officially announced on Tranquility. Our Overwatch team is competing Season 5 of Overwatch Tranquility Transcendence tier. I have no idea what that is, but I imagine it's good.
Obviously, it's the TTT.
So what that is our gaming team, that's a part of our org, is competing in a league-style tournament where they compete against other teams, and then at the end they have a playoffs, and then they crown a winner through the playoffs. It's a tournament arc!
Tournament arc!
Awesome. Alright, and this episode concludes Season 0 of OtakuCast.
Yeah.
It's been a good time. I've had a lot of fun. And season one will air in 2 weeks. This is a big special thank you to current and future Patreons.
Because this series is going Patreon exclusive July 10th.
Exactly. So we're like Una's honest except we're not completely gone. We're just gone.
We're not completely gone. We're just going into exclusive.
We're gone for the normies. The normies. We're gone for them.
So, we are looking forward to looking back, seeing how we improve in the future.
Exactly. And Anime Club, DC.
It will resume July 10th. So, stay tuned for Anime Club in our channel and on our Twitter for updates for Anime Club.
What else happens on July 10th?
What else happens on July 10th is the server is going to go live for everyone.
Tell your friends.
So keep an eye
Get
out on our YouTube channels, our Twitters. Mark your calendar.
Mark your calendars. July 10th. One of us. Join our Discord. Join us.
Join us.
Watch Anime Club with us.
Yes,
Do it.
Exclusive.
Do it. You know you want to.
Once you're in the server, you can just react to the corresponding channel in self-assigned roles, and then you'll become an Anime Club. And then you'll get access to the Anime Club channel where we announce our movies and reminders of when Anime Club is. And
we also have a channel with only animal pictures and a channel with memes. So why would you not want to join us?
I just love it. I love posting in there. Anime Club.
I post a lot of things in there. But
take too many pictures. I'll take pictures.
I take pictures. I'm a mom. I have to take pictures of all of my animals. I mean, come on. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you for
appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for making this journey with us in season 0. And we're only gonna get better. We're only gonna be awesomer, which is totally a word, DC.
We've got tons of ideas lined up.
Sadly,
we got tons of ideas lined up for season 1.
Yes, we do.
Changes, improvements, overall.
A lot coming.
Yes.
Yep.
And hopefully someday I'll get better internet. I will pray to the internet gods.
Hopefully this will be a season 0 thing.
Maybe.
Small town internet.
Small town internet.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the best I can. I'll tell you that much. I will be a good noodle. But thanks everybody.
Thank you for
DC,
watching.
You take us out this time. I always take us out. You take us out.
I'm gonna say thank you, Yojack, for being here, being our guest this week.
Definitely. Being awesome.
Hope
Lord
you all
and Master, Daddy.
enjoyed. Hope you all have enjoyed season 0 so far. Hope to see you all in season 1. Take care of yourselves.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.